Hello and welcome back to JankTech. It's my series on Star Wars Unlimited with a focus on twin suns and me bouncing around in front of my camera like I've been drinking too much coffee, which, is always a safe bet. And despite what it looks like, yeah, I did record this on the same day as some of my other ones, but I'm wearing this hat so it's less obvious. And yes, I've got somebody doing work around where I live, so it might be a little bit noisy, so hopefully we will minimize that. In any case, if y'all could ignore the noise, like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. I always appreciate all the feedback y'all give me on these videos. I am overwhelmingly grateful for the amount of new people that we've got. And I'm just going to keep on cranking this stuff out. So lean back, get yourself a glass of something delicious, and let's enjoy. So what do we got going on today? So like over a year ago, oh my gosh, yeah, March 20th of last year, I put out this video on this cool Poe Dameron fin deck. Obviously, there was a lot of stuff new at the time, but you know what? Like, it's been a year, baby. Like, we can we can update this. We can put some more stuff in here because I think this is a combo that has actually benefited a lot from all the new cards that have been available. I actually posted a deck listing for this about a month ago on swupdx, and a couple of people have hearted it. Thank you so much. Y'all know who you are, or maybe I hope that you know who you are. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this because I played this deck in one of my recent videos with unlimited power, and I think it is just such an interesting interaction with these leaders, and one of the things that I enjoy coming to Twin Suns for. The original version of this deck used a green base. This one uses the yellow splash base because there are a few green cards that I want to incorporate in it. But overall, I think this deck is extra good when it's primarily focused on yellow. So we've gone from the lives and death of Poe Dameron to the BFFs strike back. And yeah, we know Poe and Finn are just like best friends forever. Don't try too hard to search for that. I am certain when I make the thumbnail for this that I am going to have to ignore if I type in, oh, Poe and Finn together. Anyways, let's not dwell on that. That's gonna get NSFW real quick. So what do we got going on with this? We got Poe Dameron. Action, you pay 1, exhaust him, flip this leader and attach him as an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. Poe Dameron, when he is flipped, he gives whatever he's piloting +2/+1. And as an action, you can pay 1 to attach him to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. You can only use that once per round. And if you want to deploy him as a ground unit, he will come out as an actual leader unit at 5 resources as just a 4/6. So the cool thing about Poe is that you stick him on something, swing with it, pay 1, he goes on to something else, you swing with that something, which is great. We love Poe. Poe is cool. He doesn't make whatever he's on a leader unit, so things that would return a non-leader unit to hand or defeat a non-leader unit will send Poe exhausted back to our leader zone. But still, like, the guy can fly anything. Come on. What makes this very cool is that if we use him with his best buddy Finn, action, exhaust him, defeat a friendly upgrade on a unit. If you do, give a shield token to that unit. That's Poe, y'all. Finn can defeat Poe when Poe is on a vehicle to give that vehicle a shield. So generally what you want to do, you put Poe on something, you attack with it. If you can jump him onto something else, you do that, attack with that. Then use Finn, defeat the Poe, get the shield on the last thing. Boom, boom, boom. It feels good whenever you do it. We like to see Finn doing things. Finn needs a win, y'all. He's finally gotten a good card with Lawless Time with his ambushing unit. And it's about time because, yeah, like I've been a Finn fan for a while. I tried real hard to make him work. And I was determined that the Rickety Quad Jumper was a card that would enable him. But, of course, my Rickety Quad Jumper look is insanely bad. Anyway, Finn also deploys at 5 as a 4/6. On attack, you may defeat a friendly upgrade on a unit. If you do, give a shield token to that unit. So he can still use his ability even when attacking. And those are some cool Death Stars, which I did not mean to flip to. Well, let me just explain those real quick. This is somebody's Death Stars that they painted for their copy of Star Wars Rebellion. I'm making earrings out of these pieces, and I can't paint this good, but I'm using this as kind of a guideline to painting these Death Stars before I stick them up here on my ears. Now that you know that, let's just get into what's in the deck. We're using the yellow splash base, so as an epic action, we can play one card from our hand, ignoring one of the vigilance, command, aggression, or cunning aspect penalties. In this case, we're going to be using this to pay one of our very few command cards at cost. So there's not a ton, but you don't want to have a ton in a deck that you're splashing. I think we've got a reasonable amount for it. Anyway, let's get into it. We got 17 ground units, and because this is a deck based around sticking our leader on vehicles, we got 39 space units, which I think checks out. So, Skyhopper Canyon Runner, it is a 1/4. It's got a big butt for a 1 cost. It's a vehicle. Turn 1, you could stick Poe on this. Boom. Instantly becomes a 3/5 for 2. That's pretty good. Lobot. I love Lobot as an early game sentinel. Just nobody wants to swing into it because they will grit him up, and then he will become harder to deal with. In this deck, we are definitely using sentinels as a way of keeping our vehicles alive and getting us to a point where we can do our goofy little wacky combo to keep our vehicles alive too. Lothwolf, same deal. We don't care that it can't attack. It's a 3/3 that nobody wants to swing into that you can play on your first turn and keep your other stuff safe while you're getting set up. Luke Skywalker, you still with me? This is that awesome pilot from JTL. You do have to use your epic action in order to play him for his written cost here. Obviously, we like having Luke as a pilot because he adds a lot of swinging power to something, and if this upgrade would be defeated, you may instead move him to the ground arena as a unit and exhaust him. So if the thing that Luke is piloting is defeated, which then defeats Luke, well, then you just get him as a ground unit. Or if you decide to use Finn's ability, you could actually say, okay, now's the time. We're using Finn to defeat Luke, which would then put Luke on the ground and give the vehicle a shield. Pretty cool. I don't think that Finn's ability is... Oh, excuse me. I don't actually know if Finn's ability works to give a shield to something because it's... If it would be defeated, don't defeat it and instead do the thing. But in any case, you can still use Finn to give you a ground unit if you really need one. Admiral Yularen, when played, choose Grit, restore 1, Sentinel, or Shielded while this unit is in play. Each friendly vehicle unit gains the chosen keyword. That's awesome. We love keywords for our vehicles because this deck has a ton of them. In fact, it's mostly pretty much all vehicles and pilots with a few little add-ons here and there. So Yularen is going to make all of our stuff better. It's kind of cool just to say we have on-demand sentinels because then Yularen himself is kept safe, but he's pretty safe with his massive tuchus anyway. Also, we've had enough Yularen cards at this point. It's interesting seeing his arc from his time in the Empire to his time with the Republic, whichever. I think he dies on the Death Star though, right? Maybe he gets transferred out of there. I don't know. If y'all want to let me know, my Yularen related lore is probably not up to snuff here. Again, Tarkin, another official that had quite a career arc. Each friendly vehicle unit gets +1/+0 and gains overwhelm. That's great. We're going to be using Poe on a vehicle to swing into things. So that's awesome. Getting a little extra push, getting that overwhelm. If we're able to get a shield on something and then stick Poe back on it in a later turn, then even better. We're going to be taking other people's stuff out and hitting harder at the same time. Sabine Wren, Spectre 5 from A Lawless Time. Sabine is pretty cool. She's a 3/3 for 3 with ambush, and When played, you may defeat a non-unique upgrade. If you control a vigilance or command unit, you may defeat an upgrade instead. So she takes out pilot leaders. Of course, if you have a vigilance unit, there's not too many command units here. But Finn is vigilance, so you can save her to get rid of something crucial. It gets rid of something like a dark saber. It gets rid of experiences. It gets rid of a moral authority, like all kinds of great stuff. She, of course, is not just like, oh, I play her at 3 resources, but at the right time, she gives you a unit and she gets rid of something important. Even getting rid of a shield. Getting rid of a shield on a droid laser turret. Such a huge move. We got Chewbacca Mighty Rescuer. I really like this Chewie. If you can give him ambush, he's even better. But, of course, the interesting thing about him is that if he stays alive and you can stack experience on him, then you can actually defeat that experience with Finn's ability and then make it so he can swing into bigger and bigger things. Is he like the most amazing unit in this deck? Well, no, but like we got to give him his due somewhere, y'all. And I think this is a good use for him here, especially if we have some other sentinels, like say this perimeter AT-RT, or is that a perimeter at RT? It's a 3/5 sentinel. It's also a vehicle. You can stick Poe on it. You know the drill. Feels good. Feels good sticking Poe on stuff. Rose Tico, look, you're running Finn. You gotta run Rose. You just gotta do it, okay? She's a 2/6 shielded for 4 on attack. You may defeat a shield token on a friendly unit. If you do, give 2 experience tokens to that unit. Who gives shields to unit? It's Finn. Finn gives shields to units. You can use Yularen to give shields to units. It's just so cool thinking about Rose's ability to just make everything super big all of a sudden. we love it. Scavenging Sandcrawler. So this is a fun one. It is a 1/7 on attack. You may put a card from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck. If you do create a credit token, that's basically free money right there. This deck doesn't have any sort of play from the discard synergies. And if you stick a pilot on here, like Luke, Poe, Chewie, Han, it's got such a big butt, it's not going anywhere. So you're just going to be able to keep hitting with it, keep getting credits. Life will be good. And speaking of Chewie, this is another thing that you can potentially use your splash base for. He's a 5/6 on the ground for 5 that can't be defeated or returned to hand by enemy card abilities, or gives that to whatever he's piloting if you pay 3. We have seen Chewie enough since JTL to know how powerful he is. Of course, I have referred to this Chewie in the past as VO5 Chewie because of his long, lustrous Aitor Prieto created locks. Did y'all know I like Aitor Prieto? Best artist in the game. Oh my gosh, love him so much. But yeah, this Chewie unit, great on if you need a body, but also really good if you want something to not die unless somebody else crashes into it or captures it. So good. Han Solo has his moments. We love this Han. The ability to instantly attack when you put this upgrade on something is so good. And since we're running a vehicle-focused deck, having things that aren't just Poe to make our vehicles better are going to work really nicely. And, of course, Han is always happy to lend a hand. I'm so sorry, y'all. Cargo Juggernaut. I will continue to go to bat for the Cargo Juggernaut. Comes out at 6 as a 4/6 with a shield. When played, if you control another vigilance unit, which hopefully you'll still have Poe at this point, heal 4 damage from your base. That is a huge impactful number at the 6 resource point of the game. We love this. Finn, looking closer. Hey, it's that new Finn that I was talking about. 6/5 with ambush. On attack, you may give a shield token to a non-unique unit. This is awesome. We like getting shields on our guys. Unfortunately, Finn can't shield himself, but Finn also enables Rose, should Rose happen to be out. And fun, cool thing, if Finn gives a shield to a non-unique vehicle that Poe is piloting, then it's still a non-unique vehicle. Poe doesn't change that. So it will help protect Poe once he is on something and hitting with it, especially if you can get Tarkin out to give your stuff a little boost and overwhelm. So this is real good. We like Finn here a lot. Gorilla Attack Pod. Oh my gosh. This thing is such a great game closer. A 4/6 with grit, but when played, if a base is 15 or more damage on it, which likely is going to happen by the time you can afford to play this, then you can just ready it when it comes in. And then you can stick Poe on it. And then you can use Finn to give it a shield after you hit with it and get it all gritted up. Yes, please. I love this. I think this thing is always going to be good in an aggression heroic deck. Love Gorilla Attack Pod. Heck yeah. And War Juggernaut. Love it. Also not banned in Twin Suns. Take that, Eternal players. Yo. Gets +1/+0 for each damaged unit. It's a 3/7. When played, deal 1 damage to each of any number of units. So if you're playing with a lot of battle droids, like someone's using the new Dooku precon, this is going to wipe them all out and it's going to feel real good. This is another great thing to stick Poe on. So yeah, War Juggernaut, so good as like the closer in this deck, just in case you need to get that huge push at the end, especially if you have enough left over. Maybe you've got a credit or something to stick Poe on it and then shield it up with Finn. I just think this is such a cool combo, y'all. A-Wing. It's a 1/2 with raid 1. It's a cheap ship to put Poe on as a first turn play. Same thing with the Cartel Turncoat. 2/3. Stick Poe on it. That's a 4/4 on your first turn in space. Still pretty good. I think the Cartel Turncoat is still worth it, even though the game's been out for a long time, since Shadows of the Galaxy. Crackshot V-Wing, when played, if you control another fighter units, deal 1 damage to this unit, and it's a 2/2. Pretty decent stats for a 1-cost unit. Even if it has a damage on it, that's not the worst thing, because we're either going to shield it up with our cool leader combo, or like sometimes we just want Poe to die while he's on the ship. And that's why the original deck list was the mini lives and deaths of Poe Dameron, because there are things, and we'll see them as we get more into this deck, there are things that enable Poe to continuously die so that he can be put back onto something else later on, or strategically deployed. And that's the thing I want to talk about before we get too much into this list, is strategically deploying Poe. So it's important to note, Poe deploys on the ground at 5 resources as a 4/6. The cool thing about this is if Poe is sent back to the leader zone after being attached to something, and it's the 5, and you have 5 or more resources and haven't deployed him, you can just deploy him and have a ready 4/6 after you've been swinging with other stuff. So it's a kind of a cool move with this deck to be able to trigger that when you need it, to get Poe as a sudden ready unit that can hit for 4, that can close the game out if necessary. Poe's epic action of deploying to the ground is super clutch, and I don't think that there's a way of emphasizing enough how important it can be to your game if you just time it right. And this gives you a few tools, which I will get into in a little bit. But being on something that has damage on it, also fine, because sometimes you just need it to die. Republic Y-Wing, it's a 1/3 for 1. It's still an easy thing to get Poe onto early on. Alkenzi Patroller, a great little sentinel. I think this is just going to be a staple in Vigilance decks forever in Twin Suns. Anakin's Interceptor, it's a 2/3, but when your base is damaged, 15 or more damage on there, and gets +2/+0. This is great. So it's still good late game too. You stick Poe on this, you can hit for 6 later on. Love that. Black one, hey, it's Poe ship. When it's upgraded, gets +1/+0. So if you stick Poe on it, well then that's a 5/4 on attack if you control Poe Dameron, which you will be controlling Poe Dameron no matter what. You may deal 1 damage to a unit. This is awesome. You do not resource this card. You stick Poe on this every chance you get. Bravo Squadron Fighter. I love this little guy. This is a good little staple from Secrets of Power. 2/3 Saboteur for 2. It's relatively cheap. Saboteur punches through Sentinels. And of course, I've said over and over on this channel, Sentinels are so good in this format. One of the jokes that I was making while doing one of my last recordings with unlimited power is that the attacks in this game flow like water. And Bruce Lee says, be like water. Attacks will flow to the player with no Sentinels. They, of course, said, I don't think Bruce Lee has ever played Twin Suns, but they missed the point. The point is that a Saboteur, you are controlling the flow of the attacks. You're saying, I'm going to hit who I want, when I want, and sticking Poe on here to hit for 4, yes, please. Frontline Shuttle. Is it worth using the splash for? Oh, yeah. Being able to attack with a unit, even if it's exhausted, all you got to do is defeat this. I love just having this flying around and maybe not even doing anything, maybe not even attacking. If we can get something big and then maybe it's mostly dead. Maybe we've got Poe. Poe's already swung at base. Defeat your frontline shuttle. Smack Poe into it. Kill him. Deploy him on the ground. I think frontline shuttle is good for making sure that you can get Poe to die when you need him to die. And take someone else with him. We love that. Green Squadron A-Wing. It's still a classic. It's still a 1/3 with raid 2 for 2. A lot of these little fighters in here, and you've probably noticed a theme that we have a lot of little space units. These are just so good for you to have a bunch of them, top Poe between, shield the last one up, keep him safe, swing longer. Gray Squadron Y-Wing, I love this thing. Being able to make it a 3/4 with Poe on it and do the extra 2 damage to something, we love that too. I think indirect damage is a little bit better in some ways, but in terms of a cheap ship for Poe to be on, it's still real good. Jedi Starfighter, 1/4 for 2 in space. On attack, you may deal 1 damage to a space unit. Also good just for getting a little bit of ping damage. If someone else has something shielded in space, well, then this will help take care of it. Outer Rim Headhunter, raid 1, 1/3 for 2. On attack, if you control a leader unit, most of the time that's going to be Finn. You may exhaust a non-leader unit. I love the utility of this. I love that if you can have a leader out. And by the way, there is a trick for getting Poe out early in this. I'm going to wait on telling you until I get to it. But if you've already guessed what it is, you know, yell it loud so the rest of the class can hear it. Red Squadron Y-Wing. Love it. Like, it's another 3/4 on attack, deal 3 indirect damage to the defending player. I say 3/4 because you want to stick Poe on it. Oh, yes. Resistance X-Wing, when it has a pilot on it, it gets +1/+1. So it becomes a 3/3. It becomes a 5/4. That's black 1 stats right there. If you can juggle Poe between the Resistance X-Wing and the black 1, that is a ton of damage, y'all. That is so good. Restored Arc 170. Again, it is a 4/4 with Restore 1. When Poe is on it, also super good. Blade Squadron B-Wing. It's a 3/3 when played if another player controls 3 or more exhausted units, which is definitely a possibility in this format. If you can end up dirtling enough to keep until playing this later, then you can pretty much be assured of giving a shield to something. I hope that y'all can't hear my dog too much, but he's being pretty loud in here. So let me throw in a quick pause. We'll see if we can get him to settle down just a little bit. And we're back. Oh my gosh, the distractions have abated. Dog is going to be quiet. We can proceed on with what we were doing. Anyway, as I was saying, this B-Wing, likely you can dirtle enough in your turn, swap Poe between a whole bunch of things, and then get this out when someone else has a bunch of exhausted things to give a shield to something else to keep your guys surviving. Concord Dawn Interceptors. Oh, man. Making this into a 3/5 that becomes a 5/5 while defending, also great. Extra good if you can give it a shield. I love the Concord Dawn Interceptors. It's also still good. Death Space Skirmisher. When played, if you control another space unit, you may exhaust a unit. Have you seen all the space units in this deck? Oh my goodness. I think that we're going to have that, no problem. Defense Fleet X-Wing. It is a 1/4 Sentinel in space. It's like a less good version of this, but I mean, still, having this be a 3/5 when Poe is on it is pretty good. Ebon Hawk. So yeah, there's no villainy in this deck, but that doesn't matter because we like the heroism effect more. On attack, you may disclose heroism and or villainy. If you disclosed heroism, this unit gets +2/+0 for this attack. So you can hit with this if Poe is on it for 7. If you have a heroism card to disclose, that's real cool. We got a bunch of Falcons here. Piece of junk, dodging patrols, get out and push. All of them are good. Of course, we have the Han Solo pilot that can do damage with the Millennium Falcon before the defender. So anytime that pilot hops onto either of these, that's great. This one, of course, is ready when it comes in, which is so good to close out games or just to kill something selectively. And now that this is rotated out, it's cheaper than ever. And it's actually, there's a copy in one of the Twin Suns precons. Like, how cool is that? I love this card. I'm glad that it is in reach of of many people now. Dodging patrols. I love this card too, especially in this deck. I think it's worth using your splash space for. A 2/5. On attack, you may give a space unit -2/-0 for this phase. You may give a ground unit +2/+0 for this phase. So this will make it so your space stuff is more likely to survive if you're debuffing it, and it will make your few ground units, or at the very least, it's going to make Finn way stronger. So, of course, if we can put Poe on it, hit for 4, and then make someone else hit for, well, we'll make Finn hit for 6. That's pretty good. The Falcon, get out and push. You may play or deploy one additional pilot on this unit. It gets +1/+0 for each pilot on it. You have to have no one else on here when you want to stick Poe on it. Otherwise, you can't put Poe on it. So if you end up putting a second thing on there, just know that Poe's days on the Falcon are finished, and you're just going to have to put another pilot on there. But still, that is so much potential damage. That's like saying, oh, Poe is actually a +3 to the power of the Falcon, essentially. So good. Red 5, running the trench. On attack, you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. Super helpful. Units are generally damaged in this format, and this is a way of just getting them a little bit. Red 3, it's a 2/3 with raid 1. Each other friendly heroism unit gains raid 1. Great. You can see from the list here, we got a lot of heroism units, so this just makes all of them a little bit better. Sabine's Masterpiece. Well, we've got 4 different aspects in this deck, so Sabine's Masterpiece can possibly and likely do all of these things, depending on what we have out. Less likely to get the experience, but getting the ping, getting the resource, either exhausted or roadied, healing damage. Like, this does a lot of stuff, and we like all of it. B-Wing Skirmisher. Oh my gosh. This in a Chewie deck with They Hate That Ship. Oh my goodness. But in here, it's still pretty good. Pings damage to each of up to 2 space units. So hopefully make things less threatening in space. And it's a 4/4 for 4. Also pretty good. A great thing to stick Poe on too. Razor Crest. Ah, man. I love getting to use this Razor Crest. 3/5. When a pilot attaches to this unit, which Poe is, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 2 or less, or an exhausted non-leader unit that costs 4 or less to its owner's hand. So this is just great at controlling the board, and being that you can stick Poe onto it and then get him off of there and then put him back onto it and just keep on doing it turn after turn. That just feels really good to get that much juice out of the Razor Crest. Rebel Blockade Runner. I love this card from Lawless Time. It is a 4/5 saboteur in space. It's just good at hitting stuff. It's got a big enough butt that it's going to be hard to kill it. We love this card. We love sticking Poe on it and hitting anything we want for 6. The coronet, 4/6, huge butt. Oh my goodness. Restore 1, gives everything else restore 1. This is so good. So we don't have a whole lot of sentinels in space. We just have a lot of ping and exhaust and what have you. So the coronet will help make up the difference. Also, I know this has been out since Secrets of Power, but I still just love the art on this card. I love that Vincent Dutray is doing art for this game. Yeah, Lightmaker, of course. Lightmaker is in this deck. It is a 3/4 with raid 4. So if we stick Poe on it, then we are hitting for 9. And its when defeated effect is no slouch either. So if this can be defeated at the right time, it can completely shut everything down. Especially if you say, we swing with Lightmaker, we do 9 damage, we defeat it through some sort of means, and we exhaust everything. And then we can just get Poe, deploy him out, hit for another 4, close the game. How's that for a slice of fried gold? Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite. I love Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite. One of the best space units from Twilight. 4/6, when played on attack, you may deal 1 damage to this unit and 2 damage to another space unit. So if you've got Poe on here, again, you're swinging for 6. This is more survivable with the addition of shields, so you can keep pinging yourself and hitting other space units and doing a decent amount of damage. Survivor's Gauntlet. Oh, baby, now we're talking. 4/6, when played and on attack, you may attach an upgrade on a unit to another eligible unit controlled by the same player. So this allows you to transfer your Poe around even more. I love this so much. The idea that you can always say, this is where I want Poe to be. This is where I want my shield to end up. It's a way of getting Poe to swing on a 3rd vehicle without having to pay and use his ability again, because you can only pay to use his ability once per round. Tactical Heavy Bomber. I love this card. I love this card so much. On attack, deal indirect damage equal to its unit's power to the defending player. If a base is damaged this way, draw a card. So that's 5 indirect damage with Poe, plus the 5 damage. Like, that is so much. It is multiplicative, people. It is so cool. I love this. I want to watch somebody play this in the wild just so I can like point and be like, whoa, it's the Tactical Heavy Bomber. Oh my god. Yeah. The Ewing Lander. When played, give 3 experience tokens to this unit. When this unit completes an attack and survives, you may attach an upgrade on this unit to another eligible friendly vehicle unit. Gosh, that sounds a whole lot like transferring Poe to something. Seems pretty good. Obviously, the fact that it's a 5/5 for 5 is okay, but its ability really shines when you can use it to put your pilots around where you need them, particularly Poe. The Ghost, Home of the Specters, another card very much worth using the splash base for. It's a 4/4 for 6, but you may give an experience token and a shield token to a unit when played. But if you control a vigilance or aggression unit, which you probably will, you get to do that to up to 2 units instead, which is just so cool in terms of making things bigger and harder for your opponents to deal with and close out games, because we're getting in closeout territory. The Tanty VIV. I think this is cool. 5/6, restore 2 when played if a friendly unit was defeated this phase. Heal 4 damage from your base. It's too bad that Poe doesn't count as a friendly unit, but still, things die in this game all the time. Around the time you're playing this, also going to be happening. Home 1 on my mark. I think this is such a cool one. It costs 9 and is a 7/8 with ambush, but if an opponent controls 3 or more space units, it costs 3 less, so you can potentially play it for 6. And of course, yeah, you know we have They Hate That Ship in there, so we can make it even cheaper as long as they have 1 space unit. You play They Hate That Ship and say, okay, so I'm going to play it for 3 less and for 3 less. So I'm going to play it for 6 less, so I pay 4 to get it out with They Hate That Ship. Am I doing math right? I think I'm doing math right. Okay, we got some events. And a lot of these events are events to help us maximize our use of Poe and also kill him so we can start putting him around on other vehicles as soon as possible. Dogfight, attack with the unit. Even if it's exhausted, that unit can't attack bases for this attack. Always good to get a double attack with something, get it removed. And if we go to base with something after we have already reconfigured where Poe is, and we're like, okay, this time we're not making him a shield. We just want him dead so we can get him deployed and hitting for 4 on the ground. You can dogfight into something, kill it, Poe's done. It's definitely worth using the splash for, but even if you're paid 3 for it, when it's really impactful, I think it might still be worth it. Flash the vents, same thing. Attack with a unit. It gets +2/+0 and gains overwhelm for this attack. After completing this attack, if that unit damaged a base, defeat that unit. So it's another way of killing a thing that Poe is on if we need Poe to be on the ground. Fly casual, ready a vehicle unit. It can't attack bases for this phase. You might be seeing a pattern with some of these events. It's just we are maximizing the use of our vehicles with Poe on them. Or for that matter, if we have attacked with Poe and finned it up and shielded it up, then we can attack into something else and minimize our own casualties. Heroic Sacrifice, draw a card, attack with a unit. For this attack, it gets +2/+0 and gains when this unit deals combat damage, defeat it. Big damage with Poe on a ship. Go to base, kill him, deploy him, boom, 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 boom. It can also be useful if you want to use this, if you think you can close the game out by attacking with Poe once he is on the ground, and then you can kill him in order to put him back onto a vehicle on a subsequent round, which is sometimes, honestly, the best thing to do. It can be hard to get Poe unstuck from the ground arena once he deploys, and Heroic Sacrifice will let you do that. I mean, same with Dogfight, same with Flash Defense, etc., etc. One way out. Attack with a unit, it gets +1/+0, gains overwhelm for this attack. If it attacks a unit, the defender loses all abilities for this attack. This is just great at punching through sentinels, getting rid of things that have a nasty when defeated effect. You could attack into a super laser technician and they wouldn't be able to ramp with this. It just gives you more options in terms of using your upgraded vehicles to kill stuff and get some damage on base. Punch it. It's just a 1 cost. Make vehicle go big. We love this, especially if Poe is on something, because you are attacking essentially at that point for 4 higher than its base power, which is pretty good. They hate that ship. Oh yeah, we have so many vehicles in this deck. This lets us get essentially a 2 discount on them. So at the cost of giving somebody some ties, but you can negotiate. Like, there's a Dooku leader based entirely around giving other people battle droids. Surely we can find someone that wants to play ball and not use these ties against us. But considering the large amount of awesome stuff in here, if we're able to get any of these bigger cost units out faster, then that's going to be extremely advantageous. But sometimes just getting a 3 cost ship out can be enough. I love this event so much. I think it's so much fun. I just want more stuff like this all the time in this game. Breaking in, yep. It's just another attack with a thing. It gains Saboteur. I like breaking in a little bit more than Surprise Strike because it lets you ignore Sentinels and just get damage to base. This is a more aggressive deck than a lot of my other ones that like to go a turn or two, like a resource or 2 later. And I just think it's fun to hit real hard with Poe and see how much damage you can push. Eject. This is one of those cards, if you see this in your opening hand, you should be like, well, I guess this is what I'm using my splash base for. Detach a pilot upgrade, move it to the ground arena as a unit, and exhaust it, draw a card. This gives you the ability to stick Poe onto something and then move him to the ground from whatever that vehicle is and get a card to replace this. This gets you your leader as a leader unit, but not having deployed him way earlier. So you can do some real cool stuff with that. It's kind of like getting the Chewbacca leader from Lawless Time, in the sense that it's overstated for when you're able to do this. So best case scenario is if you have this in your opening hand, you stick Poe on a little weenie thing in space. You swing with that weenie thing on your 3 resource turn, and then you play eject, and then Poe is on the ground, and then on the 4 resource turn, you're swinging with Poe, and then you can do stuff like flash the vents to attack with him and kill him, heroic sacrifice to attack with him and kill him, and then redeploy him with your epic action at 5 resources. Oh, it's so cool. It's such nonsense jank. I love it so much. I realize that this is a very Poe heavy deck breakdown, but Poe is the crux of this deck. And Finn is there to give us some nice support with using Poe as much as we can possibly use Poe. Lightspeed Assault. This is a real cool one that solves a couple problems at once. Defeat a friendly space unit, deal damage equal to its power to an enemy space unit. If you do, deal indirect damage equal to the enemy unit's power to its controller. So it's another way of defeating a unit that has Poe on it if you need Poe to deploy. It is a fun late game thing that doesn't feel bad to spend 4 on if you are going to do a ton of indirect damage to something. It's just a very cool card. And not to mention, if it defeats your own thing, you're just like, oh, well, now I can deploy Poe and do those things. Oh my gosh. Shoot down, deal 3 damage to a space unit. If that unit is defeated this way, you may deal 2 damage to a base. Cleaning up space is great for this deck. So we saw that there's a few sentinels for the ground, but we're really just going to be trying to not get our space stuff killed, and shooting other things down is going to help doing that. Sneak attack. It's another good way to enable this Poe nonsense. Play a unit from your hand. It costs 3 less and enters play ready. At the start of the regroup phase, defeat it. So this is a good way to get something out temporarily. You can stick Poe on it to juice it up a little bit more and then hop him off of it before it dies. Or if you want him to be into position for a deploy, then yes, you will have to wait a little bit longer because of the way he'll be exhausted when he's defeated. So it's not like you'll be able to use it that phase. Let's put it that way, because the defeat doesn't happen until the action phase is over. It's still a cool card in order to enable some extra damage being pushed that Poe can then make extra good. Stay on target. Attack with a vehicle, gets +2/+0, gains when this unit deals damage to a base. Draw a card. Mostly vehicles, boom, stay on target, great. Surprise strike, attack with the unit, it gets +3/+0 for this attack. This is awesome. We love being aggressive with this deck. You're all clear, kid. Remember, you gotta make the face that like... Defeat an enemy space unit with 3 or less remaining HP. If you do and an opponent controls no space units, you may give an experience token to a unit. In this day and age, I think this is more possible than ever. When Legends of the Force came out, a lot of Force-heavy decks don't run much in the way of space, and you might be able to put yourself into a situation when you're the only one in space pretty easily in this, and especially one person not having any space stuff. So I think this card has just kind of gone up in my esteem if you are playing a deck like this. Outmaneuver. Oh yeah, we choose ground. Ground stuff gone, especially if you can then deploy your leaders afterwards. Love it. And yeah, we do have to have some removal. Takedown, classic, defeat a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. Tree remembers. An enemy unit loses all abilities for this phase. If it costs 3 or less, defeat it, but it could be nice just to make something not a sentinel anymore. Commandeer It's a real fun one to take someone else's vehicle that doesn't have a pilot on it. If you do ready it, at the start of the next regroup phase, return that unit to its owner's hand. So if we did some nonsense like deployed Poe to the ground at 5 resources and then attacked with him and got him killed, maybe at the 6 resource turn, we commandeer something big that somebody plays, and then we stick Poe on it, and then we swing with it, and then this thing's going to go away, and then it'll be fine. Love it. Evacuate. Oh my gosh. I love this card so much. So returning each non-leader unit to its owner's hand. This is in here not only because we have a lot of cheap little guys that we can play in space to quickly repopulate everything, but also if Poe is stuck on a ship and we want to close the game, then we can get rid of everything and then we can deploy Poe. So I think it's valid to use this to seal the game. Again, if people are dropping a bunch of big things and everybody's resources are all exhausted. And we got upgrades. Hotshot Blaster. It's still good, y'all. Great. It's great to give Poe or Finn. And since we are running aggression and cunning, we can still smuggle it in at that price. So having options with this is always good. Armed to the teeth. This with Poe hopping around and things, oh my gosh. So it's an upgrade, gives +2/+0. Attached unit gains on attack, give another friendly unit +2/+0 for this phase. You can smuggle it in, which is also nice. But honestly, like having this on the thing that has Poe on it means whatever that is hitting for 4 more. And then if you can buff something else on attack that's ready and then stick Poe onto that, then that's going to hit for 4 more too. Super good. Death Star plans. Yeah, we're playing a lot of space units in here. So if we can get the Death Star plans in space and keep people from messing with them, then that's going to help us accelerate our put Poe onto bigger and bigger things and hopefully not have people take that from us. But you don't want to play this on the ground with this deck. Certainly not. Last thing, super heavy ion cannon attached to a capital ship or transport unit, which there are a decent amount of transports. And we've got a few capital ships up here too. Attached unit gains on attack. You may exhaust a non-leader unit the defending player controls. If you do, deal indirect damage equal to its power to that player. We just love this. Of course, this got popular early in Lawless time because there was an Enfys Nest combo deck that used this. Because, of course, if you double it, that's awesome. But even getting it ×1 here is really good because it makes your butt that much bigger too. Exhaust something. Yeah, I think it's super cool. So yeah, that's our new cool version of Poe and Finn. Well, newish, whatever. It's like a month away. We're fine. We got there in the end. So yeah, you can actually see me play this deck on YouTube with my friends at Unlimited Power, and I will make sure to link that deck list down there. I will have the list for this deck and the old one and all those other fun things. So y'all can try this out. If you were a fan of the original one from a year ago, I think this is a better version of it. And I make this pretty clear to anyone that I play this game with that Jump to Lightspeed is like my favorite set in this game. Lawless Time, I'd say, is right after it. But man, I love making stuff with Jump to Lightspeed leaders. And well, obviously my next video is going to have a Jump to Lightspeed leader in it too. So yeah, I'd love to know what y'all think. I love to have discussions in the comments. You know, this YouTube stuff, it's like, oh, comment, algorithm. I genuinely do like having discussions in the comments here. And it kind of stinks that that's the way YouTube wants you to be. It's just like, oh, you need to have engagement to get your videos seen or whatever. It's like, man, even if it didn't necessarily help my videos to get seen, I'd still like to be able to say, I want to have discussions about these decks. Like, I talk about this game all the time, and I just welcome the opportunity to talk about it more. So I'll do my best to not sound too clickbaity here, y'all, because that stuff annoys me. But yeah, just tell me what y'all think Did you play the original version of this? I know that I sometimes get requests to revamp older decks. I actually saw somebody bring to my local game store a deck that I had done even longer ago than the original version of this, with the Vader pilot and Grievous from Twilight. And he's like, yeah, I just threw together this jank list from the internet. And he pulled up the video and was like, hey, that's me. So I know there's people out there that are still looking at these older ones. So if there's any older one that you really want to see updated, let me know. I'm a lot like Edna Mole from The Incredibles, always looking forward, never backward or whatever. But, you know, it is fun to visit these old ones and see, does this still work with newer cards? Is it improved? Yada, yada, yada. Y'all get what I'm saying. Anyway, that's enough time for me. I've talked almost an hour. You know how it is. So we got more stuff coming. I still want to get a video done for Vader Price. And I've got like a bunch more stuff that I want to get done before Ashes. We'll see if I can get that done. Because, you know, like not only is Ashes getting closer, we're in spoiler season, but Galactics is like, what, like 2 months away at this point? So we got to get our stuff in gear for that. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. Well, that's going to do it for me this time. So until then, well, let's do this again sometime.